Hello everybody, this is Tarina. I was actually just playing around. I started to play with the pieces from my Launch Caddy kits or projects, and I ended up with this card, which has none of those on it. But um, my I don't know what to call it, ex-sister-in-law plans on getting married soon, so I thought, you know what? I'll make a card, and I didn't. My thought process was kind of, I'll just add this onto there without, this is the heart and all that kind of stuff, and then just, put something in there, which I'm still planning on using these. I just haven't gotten there yet. Evidently, this one just wanted to come to light, so here I am. So I thought I'd show you guys how I went about making this. Now, I don't know if you can see very well, but this actually hangs. This little charm here hangs, and you could do this with any kind of charm, and honestly you don't have to use hearts. You can use whatever shape you want, as long as you have the ability to cut out the center. I have, let's see, for this I use, let me see if I can get my dies. I used two dies. They are both hearts from Close to My Heart. One is the stitched hearts and the other is the basic hearts, and so I used that for this heart, and I also used it to cut out the heart. I'll just have to show you how it works. But yes, this is what I'm going to use, and so I thought I would show you guys how I did that idea. When I first saw, I saw the heart and I was like, you know what? I have little heart charms. I wonder how I could use, integrate that. So I am going to, you really can't see it when it's sitting up, so I'll have to do a picture of that, but it's actually pretty cute. I could also, put something back here in the back if I wanted to, but down here in the, this whole bottom half, I have plenty of room to write whatever I want, and possibly up top too. So I'm going to go ahead and get to it. So I've kind of pre-cut things, hoping I can get this to go quicker for you guys. So we shall see. So number one, you want to cut the hearts. So I have my pre-cut card base, which I got from Close to My Heart from one of the kits, the Workshop Your Way kits. I love their pre-cut cards. They're so easy to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I'm going to find the center of my card. And to do that, I'm just using these lines here. And I think I used my T-ruler last time. And so I'm going to go ahead and try to find the center. I think it's right about there. And then I want to use my smaller heart because that's the one that's going to be in the middle. So that is not the center, that is for sure. So it must be that one there. I could totally do the math and that would make a whole lot more sense, but gotta do it the hard way. So I'm not doing it perfectly by any means, but you can definitely just mark the center and do it that way. I also wanted to make sure that the heart was up higher, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move it up a little bit. So I'm gonna keep it there and there. So that's kind of half and half. And I go, because this is all going to be covered, I'm going to go ahead and tape this in place with some washi tape. And I definitely want to double check it and make sure it looks right. It looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. I don't know which side is, whoa, definitely not that side. I don't know which side's better, but we'll get it ran through here. like so. Just make sure you don't bend the card itself. And there we have it. Now, in order to do, let me see if I can put this back up there real quick. In order to do the gray, which I want to make sure that I'm getting, so this is the stitch heart that you get on top of cutting out the heart. I want to make sure that this gray is going to be showing up like this because it's going to be on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the light gray, that the color that I want up for the front, is going to be facing up. And then I'm going to fold this over, or flip it over, and I'm going to center it as best I can so that it has an even rim, because when I transfer it to the front, I'm going to make sure that it has an even rim around the sides. So I want to do that on the back side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this down on the top and the bottom. And I've got extra hairs over here. Make sure that's even on both sides. Might be able to be scooted over. Okay. So I'm just going to stick that down like that, and then I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to take the die, and I'm just going to line it right up in there. And you can kind of feel that it just kind of sticks right in there. And again, because I'm going to be cutting this out, I'm just going to go ahead and tape this down to that and run it through my die cut machine, just like that. Make sure it doesn't get bent. That aside, and then we can go ahead and pull this off of here. And I want to go slow because I don't want to tear it if I can help it. If you do tear it, it's not going to make that big of a difference because the other sheet is going to go on top. So, and you get a second heart out of there. And then you can go ahead and pull this off of here. Now, when you line it up, actually I'm going to pull these off if I can, very carefully. There we go. And then that should fit perfectly with the perfect border around the front, just like so, which it does. So the next step is to, we're going to do a little bit more die cutting. I'm going to use these two heart dies again with the littler one, and I'm going to go ahead and place down the bigger one and then the smaller one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and tape this in its spot, and then I'm going to try to line up this smaller one, the point of the smaller one, with the point of the bigger one. So trying just to make it as straight as I can, and we will go ahead and lightly tape that, and I'm going to go ahead and run that through my die cut machine. Now, of course, if you need more tape, you can go ahead and use more tape, whatever works for you. Run this through. Pull this off. And then we're going to go ahead and pull these out. So again, you get a third heart. So you can use those on whatever project you want. I'm going to go ahead and sit that on my little magnetic die keeper. And of course you could definitely use that for something if you wanted to. I'm going to put my tape away, and then I have a heart. And so this, because I used the same dye on the inside as I used for these, it will fit perfectly for that. So now that that's prepped, I'm going to go ahead and use this. Now, in order to do this part, I'm going to go ahead and set these aside real quick. I do need my my Big Shot, and I'm going to change out my platform for the multi-purpose platform, and like this is the one that came with my Big Shot, which is ancient. When I mean ancient, I mean really ancient. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to use this and this. This is a embossing folder from Provo Craft and Cuttlebug. I don't remember. I think my aunt might have bought it for me. So you want to make sure, in order to get the embossing up like this, so that the raised part is up on the color that you want, because our close to my heart cardstock is two-tone. So we've got the color that it is, and then a lighter version on the back. And I'm using the lighter version, and I want the lighter version up. So I want the bumpy side to be on the bottom so that it pushes it up into the top side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit this in the embossing folder, and as you can see, I don't know, I want to kind of show you guys this. You can see the edge of where the pattern is, so you can kind of line that up right to the edge of that pattern, and it should be perfect on all sides. You can also do it on the bottom, so as long as you don't see anything on the edges, you're good. What I also want to do is, just to get a very crisp, perfect embossing, is I'm going to spritz this with water. It's just a light spritz. 3 sprays. It's going to start bowing, which is okay because it's just going to it's just soaking up the water, and then I'm going to go ahead and run it through. Like so. And I'll go ahead and set this aside. And then we'll go ahead and pull this out. And there you go. We have our embossed paper. And so that, I'm going to go ahead and set that aside and let that dry a little bit, because like I said, it had some water in there, and I want the adhesive to stick. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of my this is 3M foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to the back side, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of going to line it a little bit like a shaker card, which you could definitely do. You don't have to, but I just want to make sure that the heart stays where it needs to be. Sure if that's small enough to go for that. I have to make a smaller piece here. Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and, it feels like it's almost dry. Go ahead and put this on here, and you know, it's pretty easy to use this roll of adhesive, which I'm going to actually have to get some more of soon. That's going to have to be on my next list because I use this all the time. So I found this on Amazon, and I just looked up 3M foam foam tape roll or something like that. I don't know. It's been so long since I've had to buy this again. Probably about 5 years. That's because I haven't done a whole lot of scrapbooking. But I'm definitely getting better, and the more I use, you know, the more I craft, the more I use, you know, what I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some little pieces in here by the heart. I'm not sure. I don't really want tiny pieces. Maybe I'll just cut this one up. Now, the way that I'm going to attach the little, I want to say trinket, charm is going to be with just my basic adhesive, my ATG gun, but it seems to hold it pretty well. I am also going to use some of these for the center here and hope it fits. It fits! Yay! Okay. So okay. Lots of adhesive to keep it flat because it's got a lot of bumps on it, and I definitely don't want it to go anywhere. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of strands I use embroidery floss, and it only needs to be really short. You don't need something that's extremely long. And I just take and I put this through the loop of the charm, and then I'm going to tie a knot up on the top just so that it stays on the loop should any, you know, pulling of any sort happen. Oh my goodness, I'm not really showing you guys very well, am I? So I'm just doing a knot in the end. Like so. Because you do want, that knot will also help with adhering everything and making sure things stay. So that's what we have. Oh, that was not trying to be extra delicate. So just one simple knot, and then I'm going to trim this upper part just so that it doesn't sneak down and get in, you know, come out of the thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my ATG, and I'm just going to put ATG adhesive right here in the center where I want it to dangle from. So I want to give it enough adhesive to stick the little charm where I want it to be. right? Okay, so when we attach it, I want to try to make sure that the string comes right down to that point, because if it's up too far, it will tweak the ring, and we don't want it to do that. So we want it to be right below that, and then we want to make sure that it's adhered evenly, if possible. Oh my goodness. You want to make sure that this is sitting the way you want it to sit as far as flat goes as well. So I am not doing a very good job of showing you guys how to do this. Okay, so I think that's better. It's much better. Okay, here we go. I gotta lay it down. Straight down, like that. And it sits perfect. Okay, best to do it laying down, that's for sure. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take all of the adhesive, or the strips off of the back of this. This is the only thing that I don't like about the foam tape, is it's always got the backing on there that takes forever to get up, especially off of little pieces. But so the next step is going to be sticking this down, and the way that I'm going to do that is I'm just going to line it up as best I can with the heart. So I want to make sure that this is as straight as possible, making sure the edges are all where they're supposed to be, and the heart, the loop of the heart and the point of the heart are where they're supposed to be. And then you should be able to just lay it down and have your even edges and your even sides. And if you need to pull this down a little bit, you can, which I'm going to have to on this one. There we go. Like so, and just press this down like that. And then we go ahead and take the adhesive off of this heart. Now if you want this to like super stick, you could definitely add a liquid adhesive to the foam. The foam gives it a little bit of a lift, so it gives it a little bit of, you know, added depth. And if you've watched my videos before, I love me some depth. I do. So, and then we're going to go ahead and line this up with the center heart as well. Like so. That's right. Looks right to me. Nothing, no color sticking out. Go ahead and press that down. And then the last we need to do is our sentiment. So we already have our hanging center. Just like that. Now we'll do our sentiment. I've already prepped this. I'm using charcoal because that is kind of in the color family that I am using, and I'm using Gracious Greetings from Close to My Heart. This is a very, very old set. So you could probably find it secondhand somewhere, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and stamp this with my stamping tool. And I'm doing this just in case I need to stamp it again. I used a block on my last one and it worked out just fine, but I figure, you know, I'm doing this on camera. I don't want to mess up and have to redo it if I can help it. So here we are. And then I can check and see how well it's stamped. Now, this being an old stamp set, I'm surprised at how well it still works, because I mean, I am surprised, but I'm not surprised because Close to My Heart has amazing stamp sets. So their acrylic that they use is awesome. So Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. Now the way that I'm going to trim this is, I don't know if I can get this up high enough so that you guys can see the bottom. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to line up the very edge of the last letter, which is C for congratulations, and I'm going to light it up with this hard plastic part here. So there's a plastic part, there's an empty space, a wire, an empty space, and a plastic part here for the other side. And that's just going to give me an even amount of space all the way around my my sentiment. So again, I'm going to find the closest part there, and it will give me, I think that's 1/8 of an inch on each side. See what we can do here. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my white paper and then just kind of do another, let's see, maybe I can just do, let's see, 1 7/8. So 1 7/8, and we want 1/4 inch. A little bigger than 1/4 inch, so we'll do 3/8. Let's see if that's, I think that, yeah, I did that too. I did that wrong. So this is 1 3/8, and I need it to be 1 7/8. There we go. That's going to turn out right. Maybe a little too big. Alright, so that should work. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to check the length. Length is just about 3 1/4 or 3 1/8. So we're going to go for just about 3 1/8 and then add 1, 2, so I'm going to add a 1/2 inch on there. Believe. 1, 2. Yes. And then that should frame that perfectly. And then, so I'm just going to use my ATG gun and stick this down to the white daisy. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG gun again, and we'll stick this down to the card. I'm thinking that might be a little too big. But like so. And there we go. Congratulations. Now you can add bling to this. You can do whatever you like, but now you have a card that has a dangly charm in the center of it. And I don't know if you can still get these at Walmart, but I think that's where I got them, in the wedding section. And I've had them for ages, like probably since my wedding, which I did not use them at my wedding, but sometime around that, I think my cousin might have used them in her wedding, and that might have been an extra because we help with, we always help with the occasions. So this is just a quick card. It took me about a half an hour to put it together once I had all of the, just my pieces. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. So if you guys like my video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you'd like to, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.